Jim Hansel.
Folks, before we go any farther, thank you, Marshall. This was amazing. I mean, to see that many vehicles show up, but more importantly, to see all you folks show up. Out in the cold, kids, young, old, everybody like coming out to show your support for the troops. It's beyond heartening. It's amazing. So thank everyone. All the law enforcement officers who did escort us out here, that was tremendous, amazing. I got a ride here from the town square in a deputy sheriff's vehicle, and for the first time I rode the front seat. That was a treat. I'd like to tell you, people say that right now, we've been in this war in Iraq for 5 years, and that's a long time. And people are tired, and this resolution needs to come, and it needs to end. Let me tell you something. 20 years ago, I graduated from the Special Forces course. They gave me my pretty Girl Scout hat. You know, I was a ramp jumping door kicking, slim-waisted, barrel-chested, background coated, titanium-filled freedom fighter. Guaranteed never to rust, bust, or collect dust. I was going to change the world. My first deployment was to the Republic of the Philippines. And while I was there, there's a gentleman named Nick Rowe, Colonel Nick Rowe. His book's called 5 Years to Freedom. A lot of you Vietnam veterans probably remember him. He spent 5 years in a Vietnamese prison camp, trying to escape, getting caught, getting beat. Trying to escape, getting caught, getting beat. When I got to the Philippines in 1988, he was there to meet us as the Special Operations Liaison. Brilliant, wonderful man. He gave us a barbecue, threw us a great party. 5 days later, insurgents shot him dead. Now that was my first experience with insurgents and counterinsurgents. And it's a different kind of war. It's a long war. It is not something that happens overnight. You cannot change people's minds and win that kind of war overnight. So right now, we're 5 years into our war, and we are fighting insurgency in Iraq. We're fighting foreign insurgents from Al-Qaeda, we're fighting Sunni Ba'athist dead-enders, and we're fighting Shia militias financed by Iran. We need to steel ourselves for a long war. It is not going to end this year. President Obama is not going to wave a wand and end the war. President Clinton, President McCain. None of them can end it when they come into office. What we need to do is make sure that the people of America tell whoever our next president is that we want to win. Like Pete said, our motto is let them win. We have 4,000 who died in Iraq. They consecrated that ground with their blood, and we owe it to them to win. As Pete mentioned, I write for Black 5. Black 5 was started by a very good friend of mine, former Special Forces officer named Matt Burton. Matt got out of the Army, was doing very well in the civilian corporate world, making lots of money in Chicago, doing great things. When a friend of his, who was still in, was serving in Iraq. Now what happened was this friend and a Newsweek reporter were riding in a Humvee, and it got hit by an IED, blew it off a bridge into a canal. My friend, Matt Burton's friend, jumped off the bridge where he got blown to, down into the water, and pulled that Newsweek reporter out. Died in the process. That reporter wrote a story and did not mention my friend. That's shameful. That's beyond shameful. And made Matt mad enough that he decided he was going to take up advocacy for the troops full time. So he started Black 5, and he started writing about the troops that the mainstream drive-by media ignores. They're real good at the latest car bomb, the latest death, the latest grim milestone, but they cannot cover and do not care about winning the war. Well, we all do, don't we? Yeah. It is a kinetic war. We do need to kill terrorists. And anybody who's seen the website knows that I love dead tangos. That's what we call dead terrorists. I'm famous for posting gun camera footage of bad guys getting blown up and then giggling and dancing around like a happy guy. But that's not going to win the war. That just kills some of the bad guys. The war is an information war. It's a war for the minds. And we, the American people, need to make sure that our elected officials know that. You cannot change a culture overnight. Islamic extremism has been spread by a number of governments, including our friends the Saudis, and they've paid for a lot of schools, madrasas, to teach hate. Well, we need to fight that as much as we need to fight the terrorists themselves. We need to make sure that the next generation of Islamic kids don't grow up thinking that the way to paradise is strapping explosives to your chest and killing innocent people. That's as important as killing terrorists. we got to change their minds. I'd like to say one more thing before David jumps up here. We started off, as Pete said, in San Diego, and then LA. And you know what? We didn't see crowds much bigger than this, did we? Yet we come here to Marshall, Missouri, and just about the whole town shows up. That says something about this country. They may call you guys, and I live in Wisconsin, they call us flyover country. Well, you can fly over, but you better salute on the way, because this is where the warriors come from. That's about all I had to say. I just really appreciate you folks coming out. This was one of the more amazing things. It was a royal ride. We got treated by royalty, and we greatly appreciate that. Thanks a lot, folks. I think sadly, given the power of American media, given the resources that we have to spread the message of America, we do an awful job of it. We are atrocious at telling the story of the good we do around the world. And so consequently, it is difficult to convince people that we're there. When the tsunami hit, who was the first people there? The United States Navy. I don't care what disaster is around the world. The first people on the ground helping anybody is somebody from the U.S. military. Now, we followed the wrong strategy in Iraq for a long time. And then General Petraeus poked his head up and said, excuse me, we need to safeguard the people before they're going to reconcile themselves and go ahead and form a government that represents all the people. We were trying to take a top-down solution, form a national government, a national army, in a society that is a tribal society, that is small groups of people who are related by blood. That was a mistake. We learned from that mistake, and we changed our strategy to counterinsurgency. Counterinsurgency means getting out of those big bases we were on. And like you said, getting down into the neighborhoods. The people didn't want us in bases and coming out once a day and flying through their main street, running over cats, running over dogs and cars, firing guns at whatever we see. That wasn't working. That wasn't keeping the people safe. All that did was mean Al-Qaeda or whoever had to wait, okay, it's 2 o'clock patrol, send out the IEDs and blow them up. So when we changed to a counterinsurgency strategy, we began to try and win over the populace. And what we did is we sent our troops down to share their suffering. We showed them that when Al-Qaeda attacks, we'll be there back to back with them. And that gave them heart. That gave the sons of Iraq, that gave the concerned citizens reason to stand up and protect their tribe. Because they're proud. They're like Marshall. If Kansas attacked Missouri, Marshall would tribal. Well, that's what we did in Iraq. We said, these guys aren't your people. Protect your own people, and we'll stand right beside you doing it. And that message spread. Now, we're not doing that great a job still, because we've got the media fighting us. The media is not just reporting. Right? They've got an agenda. They've got a narrative. And that narrative is we're global imperialists. Well, we're not. We just don't like it when a tyrant kills his own people and feeds them into industrial shredders. We don't like it when a tyrant harbors terrorist groups that are destabilizing the region. And every once in a while, we got to go stomp a mud hole in somebody's ass. In this case, it was Saddam, and now the Iraqi people have the opportunity, because we're there standing side by side with them, to raise up and protect their own people. And now we're stepping back. Right? We are stepping back. Right now in Bosnia, there's a big fight going on with Muki Sadr and the Mahdi army. They poked their heads back up and they got some new toys from Iran that they even admitted. They admitted that Iran's supplying them. They admitted that all their new weaponry and stuff comes from them. Well, guess who's going to take them down? The Iraqi army, not the U.S. army. We're standing back. We got drones flying and we'll bomb the crap out of wherever they want the crap bombed out. But they're the ones going in to fight. That's Shia-dominated Iraqi army going in to fight Shia militias supplied by Iran. That is progress. Yeah.